Imagine this. A country decides to, well, literally redraw its own internal map, a fundamental change to its entire administrative structure. How does a nation even start something like that, rearranging its realm on such a, monumental scale?
It's a huge question.
And that's exactly what's happening right now in Vietnam. So today we're taking a deep dive into Vietnam's really ambitious administrative reform package. It was approved earlier this year, 2025, and it's set to go live July 1st.
Very soon.
Yeah, very soon. And this isn't just lines on paper, right? It's about these sweeping economic goals. It touches on national identity and, crucially, the everyday lives of millions of people. So our mission today is to unpack the specifics. What is this massive overhaul? Understand the official vision behind it. And maybe most importantly, explore the fascinating, sometimes really surprising ways the Vietnamese public is reacting online. You see everything from patriotic fervor to some very practical anxieties.
And the sheer scale of this change is truly striking. You have the Party Central Committee and the National Assembly basically merging Vietnam's 63 provincial-level units down into just 34.
Wow, 63 down to 34.
Yeah. So that's 6 centrally run cities, plus 28 provinces, and maybe even more significantly, they're completely abolishing the intermediate district tier.
No more districts.
Gone. Leaving only province or city level down to the commune or ward level. It's a really significant restructuring, like a complete reimagining of their governance from the ground up.
That is profound, monumental, really. So the official framing must be crucial here. How are Vietnamese officials actually, presenting this change? What's the message?
Well, they're calling it nothing less than a second Amy.
Okay, OIMO, the big economic reforms.
Exactly, from the late 1980s, that really opened up the country. So using that term signals that this is seen as a transformation of, similar magnitude, and state media has really latched onto this powerful slogan, Sup Lai Giang Sun.
Which means?
It translates roughly to rearranging the realm. It's quite grand, almost poetic language for administrative reform.
Rearranging the realm, that definitely sounds ambitious. So, okay, what are the strategic objectives? Why do this now? What's the goal behind such a bold move?
The official line is pretty clear. Streamline bureaucracy, cut administrative costs, and critically, create larger economic zones.
Bigger zones.
Yes, and these zones are explicitly designed to compete more effectively, regionally, and even globally. So it's fundamentally about achieving economic scale-up, pooling budgets for those mega infrastructure projects everyone wants, and attracting more foreign direct investment, FDI.
Right, the FDI piece.
It's a calculated bet on efficiency and, economic muscle. And, this also sends a powerful political signal. The leadership, particularly Tong Di Tuto Lam, the party general secretary, is clearly signaling a willingness to do things with no precedent, to modernize the state machinery.
So it's a statement.
A very public statement of ambition, of resolve right from the top.
Those are definitely ambitious economic goals. But something this big, there must be complex trade-offs, right? Challenges maybe not obvious at first glance. You're aiming for cost savings, but a change this huge has got to cause significant short-term disruption. What are those practical implications?
You're absolutely right. There are expected payroll cuts, from a leaner structure over the long term. But it's really important to clarify, there will also be significant short-term costs.
Like what?
Well, we're talking substantial redundancy payouts for people whose jobs disappear, and necessary IT upgrades across literally every department involved. Think about the systems integration needed.
Yeah, that sounds massive.
So it's not a simple, immediate cost-saving thing in the near future. It's really more of a strategic investment, aiming for a long-term payoff.
Okay, so the official vision is clear strategic investment, but how is this huge change actually landing with the public, especially online? That's often where you got the unfiltered reactions. What's the mood on social media?
It's definitely a mix, but a dominant theme is certainly this kind of patriotic optimism.
Really? Patriotism?
Yeah. On platforms like Facebook, you're seeing these viral poems celebrating 34 new provinces, one stronger Vietnam. They're circulating in groups, getting thousands of shares. Poems. And lots of netizens are openly echoing the official rhetoric. They seem to genuinely believe a leaner map will, quote, unlock national potential. There's a real sense of national pride tied up in this, almost like a collective destiny thing.
Interesting. And beyond the words, how is this being visually expressed online? Are there images or creative things grabbing attention?
Oh, absolutely. This reform has a really strong visual side online. Designers are racing each other to publish these striking red and gold maps of the new 34-province Vietnam.
I bet those look sharp.
They do. We
Yeah.
saw one graphic design post, just a map essentially, draw over 20,000 reactions in like 48 hours on Facebook.
20,000, just for a map.
Yep. And infographics, before and after GIFs, time-lapse TikToks, using the hashtag #Subsublage. That's the rearranging the realm hashtag. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just policy discussion. It's definitely spilling over into popular culture.
So people are engaging creatively.
Totally. You even see people using Facebook frames declaring, Toi U Tuyen Ha now.
Yeah.
Meaning they're now in the merged province of Tuyen Quang and Haiyang, embracing their new administrative identity.
Okay, so there's national pride, excitement even. But what about the more personal side, the emotional stuff? Is there anxiety about how this hits people's local identity? That seems inevitable.
Oh, absolutely. This is where the online discussion gets, well, the most emotional. Threads are just filled with really personal questions. Things like, will my car license plate change? Which city gets to keep the original name when provinces merge?
The practical identity markers.
Exactly. And laments over lost provincial heritage. You even find critiques of the rearranging the realm phrase itself. Some people calling it hubristic in these quite thoughtful personal essays on Facebook.
Hubristic. Interesting.
Yeah. There's real pride in, say, local hometown brands, famous local products, and a genuine fear of job relocations tied to these old boundaries disappearing. It really speaks to that core sentiment. Local identity matters deeply.
Okay, so moving from the emotional to the practical side again. What about governance? Service delivery? Are people worried about how this affects just getting basic things done?
Definitely. That's a huge thread. TikTok creators are already doing these skits, role-playing citizens stuck in long queues trying to get documents in the imagined new system. It taps into that fear of chaos.
Illustrating the potential nightmare.
Exactly. And journalists are already publishing pieces warning about a likely short-term spike in paperwork backlogs. Online, users are just pleading for concrete guidance on essential services, land titles, school catchment areas, healthcare referral routes.
The day-to-day stuff.
The things that really impact life.
Right. This highlights what some call the mind the execution gap concern. You even see memes about Excel crashes in the new super province. The Excel crashes meme. That perfectly sums up that digital anxiety, doesn't it? That execution gap fear.
It absolutely does. It's a quick, relatable way for the public to express a very real fear of bureaucratic chaos. The challenge of migrating these massive systems.
And finally, amidst all this optimism and anxiety, are there voices expressing maybe deeper political skepticism, questioning the implications of such a centralizing move?
Yes, definitely. It's perhaps a smaller group, but they're quite vocal. Commentators asking essentially, will power become even more centralized in Hanoi?
A common concern with centralization.
Right, and they often point to past merger pilots that kind of fizzled out, didn't achieve their goals. It suggests a history where these big restructuring plans don't always work out as intended. So the doubts center on accountability and whether the projected savings will really outweigh the very real, very significant transition costs. Is a more cautious, long-view take.
Okay, so bringing all these different threads together, the patriotism, the cool visuals, the local anxiety, the practical worries, the skepticism, what are the big overarching currents you see? What's the so what from all this online chatter?
Well, one key sentiment that comes through strongly is this idea of historic but overdue.
Overdue.
Yeah. Many supporters argue, quite forcefully actually, that Vietnam currently has, quote, too many administrative layers for a US-sized GDP.
Interesting comparison.
It is. And they believe merging richer and poorer provinces could help spread resources more evenly, lead to better economic optimization across the country. So for them, it's seen as a necessary step, maybe a difficult one, but necessary for the country to reach its full economic potential.
Right, the optimization argument. And we touched on practical concerns, but it sounds like there's a wider issue around what you called the information vacuum. What does that really mean for how people are experiencing this change?
Yes, that's a really significant point right now. We're literally seeing posts where people are pleading for official FAQs for basic information, actually outnumbering the official guidance coming out.
Not enough official info, then.
Apparently not enough clear, accessible info. And this has prompted op-eds in major outlets like VN Express, it's a big online news source there, urging the government to communicate proactively, to get ahead of the rumor.
To avoid rumor mongering, yeah?
Exactly. It just really highlights how eager the public is for clear answers, for transparency, especially when the changes affect their daily lives so directly.
So ultimately, for the average Vietnamese citizen, how is the success of this massive overhaul really going to be measured? It feels like it comes down to their day-to-day experience, doesn't it?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, success will be judged by how smoothly essential services transition. Things like getting your new ID card, updating your land registration documents, figuring out school enrollment for your kids under the new provincial lines.
Real practical stuff.
That's where the rubber truly meets the road for the average person. If those daily interactions are seamless, or at least manageable, the reform will likely be seen as a success over time. If it's chaos.
Then public sentiment could shift pretty quickly.
Dramatically, I'd imagine.
Well, this deep dive really shows a nation embarking on something truly unprecedented in its modern history, an administrative transformation that's this potent blend of high-level national ambition, big economic strategy, and these deeply personal concerns touching millions.
Yeah, what's so fascinating is how the online conversation mirrors that complexity. You have broad patriotic support, genuinely excited about the future, mixed right alongside these very tangible, very local anxieties. The memes might celebrate a bolder, leaner Vietnam.
Like the Rearranging the Realm hashtag.
Exactly. But the commenters, the everyday people, they're watching very closely to see if this rearranging the realm is more than just, cartographic heroics. Will it actually deliver on that promise of a more prosperous, more efficient nation? That's the big question.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? When a country literally redraws its own lines like this, how much of its identity is truly flexible? And how much is just deeply rooted in the geography, the places people have known for generations? How will the digital reality of these online maps and the human reality on the ground truly interact in the years ahead?